Hey everybody, welcome back to Is Clay a Murderer? Is he about to kill Annie right now? Under cover of darkness? She seems to think so. She's backing off. She's like, oh Clay, you're crazy. I know what you get like when you get jealous. Ooh. But we know she survives because she's given interviews in the future. Yeah, so that's a relief. Good stuff. Clay's not about to kill her. But I feel like this episode is going to be part 2 because they didn't conclude it last episode. They kind of left it open-ended. They brought up all these things that could have triggered Clay to... Remember that time he brought a gun to Bryce's house? You know how angry he gets? You know, he sees people in his brain. Well, they didn't mention that, I don't think. Well, they did kind of, actually. And his mother? His poor mother. She wasn't very, like... You believe me, Mom, don't you? And instead of saying yes, she's like, doesn't matter what I believe. maybe just say what you believe. Unless you're trying to save his feelings. I do think it, Clay. I worry every night that you're a killer. Remember that time you said, what if I was the bully? So, did Clay kill anybody? You know, anybody could have killed anybody. Do I think it? No. Doesn't make any sense. Narratively, what we've been shown, the way he's been acting, all of that. You know, the way he reacted to Tyler when he thought Tyler was the one who did it. How could you react that way if you were the one who did it? Especially when he found the photograph. Or maybe he was like, you took a picture of what I did. I'm shocked. Anyway, this is episode 8. Let's get into it. Maybe we'll move on to somebody else. I think we're going to stick with Clay, but, you know, maybe in the process of Clay's innocence being shown, we can find a new suspect. Let's watch. Oh, it's a wallet. Looks like the maze from Westworld.
Are you afraid of me?
Don't kill me, Clay! Whoop, whoop. He's got a knife.
Seriously?
Why didn't you tell me about that night with Bryce?
It was a stupid mistake and nothing happened.
You hated him enough that you pointed a gun at him.
Uh-huh. Keep going.
I like this.
Where were you?
I was driving around.
Don't shout at me.
You're accusing him of murder. Don't shout at me.
You think I could do something like that?
Your mom does. I don't know.
I don't know.
Shut up, Ellie.
Get the fuck out of here.
Thank you, Clay. Thank you. I don't know if this scene is supposed to make us even fear Clay, but we know Clay. We know Clay.
I was terrified.
Yeah. Oh, Mr. Porter! Mr. Porter! Is this the first time he's been
I
in
had never met Kevin Porter.
season 3?
I have an appointment with Sheriff Diaz this morning.
Oh. Sheriff bringing you in?
What went on between you, me, and Bryce? I won't say a thing about that.
Nope. Gonna lie to the police?
Yeah, they're looking at Clay Jensen. There's quite a case to be made. Perhaps you can help them make it.
But Kevin Porter
No.
knew Clay well.
No.
You had no contact with him at all?
Just a few times.
You have to believe me, I didn't do anything.
Clay, we believe you. We just...
Well, your dad believes you.
Dennis has agreed to represent you.
Oh, Dennis. Remember him? He lost that case, remember? We got him again. I like what they've done with Clay's eyes. He looks very season 2 Justin.
What's it like in juvie?
Dude, you're not going to juvie.
No, I'm an adult.
Oh shit. You're going to the chair, Clay. You're going to the chair.
I have to go talk to Mrs. Walker.
Ooh. Shit.
Though we all knew
We're right
he
here.
didn't always make the best choices.
I came to see Mrs. Walker.
She's not home.
Damn it.
Let him in.
Oh, she is. Good. This will clear it up. She'll see Clay and she'll be like, this kid. There's no way this kid could have done it.
I thought maybe we could talk.
She's reasonable. She's just hurting.
I hated Bryce, but I didn't want him dead. He was a human being, and he didn't deserve to die. But you have to believe me, I didn't kill him.
Will you excuse
It's her
me?
dad.
A moment.
Maybe he did it. He got out of his bed, crawled to the shoreline. You're no grandson of mine. That's the most unlikely, that guy. Because he was shocked when he found out that Bryce was dead. Stop snooping, Clay. What are you snooping? Ooh, letters.
What the fuck is he doing here?
Hey, buddy.
Mr. Porter is here as a friend of the department.
What are we doing at the school with Mr. Porter? Why is the sheriff bringing Porter to the school? What's this weird approach? What's going on?
I mean, it's gotta be about Bryce, right?
What if he knows about me somehow?
Tyler, everybody's forgotten about you.
Tyler Down is needed in the principal's office.
Shit, they haven't forgotten Tyler. They're gonna pin it on you. I'm having fun with this episode. I should tone it back a bit.
Should my parents be here?
Should a lawyer be
It's not
here?
necessary, Tyler. We just want to ask you a few questions about Clay Jensen.
No. This is all going to be about Clay?
But you should probably see this. From Mrs. Walker to her son, saying that she hates him and that she'd be better off without him.
Wow. When was that written?
Parents are always the first suspects, but no one looked at Mrs. Walker because, well, she's
Nah.
Mrs. Walker.
Do you see them playing with the paint and everything?
Okay, you're being crazy.
You've been lying to everybody. You fucked him.
This is a library.
Zach Dempsey, you're wanted in the office.
All right. Is this about Clay? You know the guy right here that you won't make eye contact with? Is it about him?
Mr. Porter, who I know is going to tell him that I'm unstable and that I act out when I'm angry.
I don't think so. I think Mr. Porter's for him because he's a good dude.
You were in a relationship with Hannah. Did he threaten you?
No.
I'm just trying to help the sheriff understand everything that happened here over the past year.
With what happened to her?
And how that impacted Clay.
You're right. Zach's seen through this.
He's a good person, and he always tells the truth. So no, I didn't need him to apologize to me because he was right.
Well, sort of. Not really. What happens between Zach and Hannah had nothing to do with Clay.
It's hard to know who's on your side.
Are we good? Good, buddy? Hey, Alex. I'll get you some steroids.
Alex, he could have gone to an adult.
Hannah went to an adult. Clay knew that no one would believe Hannah. It was never about hurting Bryce. It was about justice for Hannah.
Yeah. What? Does she know him?
Fuck.
She's snooping again.
Bryce.
I don't think that this was the best idea.
What is this about? Why did she bring him in that part of that timeline?
Hey, Tyler?
Ooh, punch him, Tyler! Tyler, you've been training for this. See, Mr. Porter's getting back his instincts for protecting the children.
He and Bryce argued. I believe Bryce said something about the man choking him.
And he's back on Team Clay. Just like that.
Was he grasping at straws? Suspecting Mr. Porter or Mrs. Walker? Didn't you take a look at them too?
Based on that future conversation, Mr. Porter and Mrs. Walker did not do it.
He acts out of emotion. He goes after people.
He doesn't. He tries to do the right thing, always. You know that. I don't know what you're...
What is this, Mr. Porter?
And if he acts out of emotion, it's because he fucking cares. Which is more than most people at this fucking school.
Yeah.
He saved my life.
You want to paint him as this bad guy, but the fact is he's not.
So how long were they together? A few months?
So stay. I need you.
You shouldn't.
Ooh, it's the thing. With the maze?
So what went on between Porter and Bryce?
Mr. Jensen, I think we should talk.
Why should I talk to you?
Hey, let him talk.
You're trying to set me up.
You think that's what I'm doing?
So they won't look at you.
They've already looked at me. Call me when you want to talk.
See, he could be your new counselor. Instead of going to that other guy that your parents keep sending you to.
I thought you were a good person.
He is.
I thought you cared about kids.
He is, Clay. He's still season 2. Mr. Porter, you don't know the full story.
Porter was trying to help him.
Trying to help him? Trying to counsel him? Is that what he was doing there at the house? Dear Diary, today I this is a violation of privacy.
There are things you won't like in there.
He writes about me.
You.
Yeah.
Yes.
But maybe I'll get to know Bryce a bit better.
And the journal, you gave it to him.
Yes. We met here as a matter of fact.
That's a good way to do a flashback.
It's got a maze on it.
It's a labyrinth, not a maze. A maze, you get lost. A labyrinth, you find yourself.
Oh, he's a philosopher.
How are things with you and your mom?
Some days she acknowledges my existence. Some days she doesn't.
I wonder what kind of things he wrote about. It's funny to think of Bryce writing stuff.
And she wanted him to get better.
But she wrote this.
No, she didn't.
He was always a bad kid.
Did Bryce write it?
And now he's made a total mess of his life. His father doesn't want him.
Oh, shit.
His classmates hate him.
He wrote about himself in the third person.
But the truth is, I've never loved him, and my life would be better off without him in it.
Now that you've written from her perspective,
he did write it.
Would you be willing to share some of this with her?
That's opening up a lot, you know? She doesn't think this at all, by the way. This will be eye-opening for her. I think she'll want to reassure him.
I know things have never been easy between Bryce and myself, but I had no idea he thought I felt this way.
Would you like to tell him?
Ooh, I get emotional just thinking about it.
A little baby boy who I should have held and loved, and I just didn't know how. And I didn't really care about the fucking white carpets. And that's what you remember? It breaks my heart.
Bryce and his mother broke through.
She wants to be on top, which is cool, but I can't get these thoughts out of my mind about being on top of her, or forcing her down, or...
Right.
I can't get these thoughts out of my mind. It's so fucked up.
We need to get you in a program. There are some emotional issues that you need to deal with. Cognitive behavior therapy.
I'm not sure how effective cognitive behavior stuff is, but...
I'm gonna be a rapist for the rest of my life. I'll never get better.
I don't believe that's true. That was the last time I saw him.
Ooh, okay.
How come you're helping the cops set me up?
He's not.
So I called kids who I hope would stand up for you.
Yeah, he's calling the good ones.
And there's one other thing. When I spoke to Tyler today, there was something different about him. Since I saw him.
He picked up on Tyler?
He's been through trauma. And I bet you money Montgomery de la Cruz has something to do with that.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Watch out for him, okay?
I will.
I just told them the truth. That you're a good person.
Thanks, Tyler.
Thanks, Tyler.
How are you doing?
Yeah.
How about you? How are you doing? Everything okay?
Pretty much.
Tyler.
If I was to say the word
did Monty do something
Monty to you?
Maybe last spring.
Oh, shit. Yep.
No, not really. Who have you been talking to?
You don't want anyone to touch you.
Yeah.
You won't use the bathrooms.
I can't.
Can't talk about it.
Okay, you don't have to. You know I care about you.
Oh, shit. This episode's bringing a lot of emotion.
I was in the bathroom.
Oh, he's gonna tell him.
He smashed my head on the mirror and on the sink. And then Taylor and Kenneth held my head in the toilet. Monty, he got a mop and he put it in me.
Oh, God. Oh, Jesus, Tyler.
He's so brave to tell
I'm
anybody.
so sorry that happened to you.
Some great acting from it. Oh.
I feel like I want to hug you right now.
Yeah. Is that okay?
You alright?
I think you might have just saved Tyler. Bye.
Tyler, do you want to tell someone?
I told Bryce. He was shocked.
Shit,
He was actually upset.
Did Bryce confront Monty?
That thing we talked about, I'm dealing with it. You're all good.
Shit.
Take care of yourself, man.
This is the biggest lead so far. Because Bryce could have, like, threatened to out Monty. You know, that could have been the straw that broke Camel's back. Ooh.
Hey, Monty.
Oh, Clay straight in there.
What are you talking about? I was with the boys all night. We got shit-faced at Charlie's.
Did you?
Cops already checked into it. I'm all good. If you're trying to clear your name, you need to look a little closer to home. You know Bryce and Justin went at it that night.
You are so full of shit.
We need to focus on a strategy for your defense.
I wasn't at the scene of the crime. They don't have any of my DNA.
Someone did this. It wasn't me.
Then who?
That is the big question. Does it have a false bottom? Oh, there's stuff within it. Ooh. Okay. A prescription. Bryce. Maybe he was just... Stop. What's the most innocent explanation? Justin needed some drugs. Couldn't get them. Bryce is like, hey, no worry. No worry, bro. I can get you something. Just on my prescription. Hands it off to him every now and again. What's the most sinister explanation? Or the stupidest explanation? Justin fights with Bryce, kills him, steals his drugs, and then instead of getting rid of them, hides them away for some reason. Implicating him in a heinous crime. So, two standout scenes in this episode. One, Bryce and his mother talking, opening up to each other about what they think the other one feels and all of that stuff. Really well acted and really well played, and just further adds to the Bryce Walker redemption arc this season. We'd seen them in a good place earlier as well during the season when they were painting. So, healthy breakthroughs and surprising that Bryce would go along with all of this. I think the events of season 2 really got through to him, really shook him to make these changes in his life. It's really wholesome and good to see, but has a tragic end, unfortunately. The other good scene was Tyler breaking down. Just him retelling what happened. Oh, so powerful. And then the primal crying when Clay was hugging him just felt so real, like someone who's been holding in a season's worth of terror and frustration and anger and sadness and just letting it all out. Yeah. So those two scenes were just amazing. Like, you kind of forget that the episode started so stupidly with Annie. With Annie and Clay and all that. Hey, you could have done it. All that stuff. The whole episode wasn't just about Clay, as I was kind of thinking. They did veer off. Oh, what about Mrs. Walker? Look, she wrote this thing. No, she didn't. What about Mr. Porter? Remember when he went straight at... Remember in season 2 when he came at Bryce? Threatened him? No, actually, Mr. Porter was helping him. So we tossed in a few more suspects, and then we got to Monty, who you would imagine, given everything we know, would be prime suspect. Something to hide. Was Bryce's right-hand man. Almost the worst person in the first 2 seasons, when you put everything together. So if they were going to pin it on somebody we already know, he would be probably the one we would feel for at the least. And you can imagine a scenario that would lead to him doing something against Bryce. Whether on purpose or accidentally. Maybe it's a bit too easy for it to be him. Maybe it would be more shocking if it was somebody else. And it might be a bit too early to be pointing the finger at him in episode 8. But I think we're veering back towards Justin next episode, maybe, for a little bit. Yeah. So who knows? Who knows? I think, what is it, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 5 episodes. That's a lot of time. A lot of people to veer back and forth on. You know? We have to cover, I don't know, have we suspected Zach yet? Can't remember. Who haven't we suspected yet? People who haven't been in the show? Courtney? Sherry? Not really, you know. Bryce's dad? Bryce's granddad? The principal? Coach? Some random dude or dudette just happened to be there, or any number of things. I've long since stopped guessing. It'll become clear when it becomes clear. I don't think this is a season of clues and hints and figuring it out. Maybe it is, but I think it's more about who are these people that we've come to know over the last 3 years. What are they all capable of? How willing are we to believe that these people that we think we know could do something like that? And of course, I abandoned that almost straight away. I love the show. I love the show completely. So please take what I'm about to say with, don't take it too seriously. But I think season 3 is a little bit of a mess, structurally. And the story. I love the Bryce redemption stuff. I love the flashbacks to him. And I love lots of little moments. But the pointing finger stuff doesn't work for me, because they're doing it to everybody, you know? It's like, it's your turn now. It's your turn now. And I know that was kind of like season 1 and 2. You know, season 1, it's your tape now. It's your tape now. Season 2, you're on the stand now. You're on the stand now. But season 3, you're the murderer now. What's season 4 about? Curious about that too. But I am curious what happened to Bryce. And I'm curious how it's gonna all make sense in the end, you know? I'm looking forward to finding out. Getting some more cool moments like we had in this episode. Yeah. So, I'll see you next time. Episode 9. And we'll discover some more. Until then, have a good one, and I'll see you next time.